Are you ready to shift out of struggle and into ease when it comes to your well being? It's time. Tonight is your opportunity. Time to sit back, relax, and go on an extraordinary journey of self discovery. Welcome. I'm your host, Elizabeth Tripp. This is Nourish the Soul Talk radio show and podcast. And tonight we have a beautiful show designed for you. We're going to be exploring how to find love in every moment and embrace soul gratitude because my guest tonight, she has such a beautiful message, one that truly reaches the heart and shifts your understanding of life. She believes that love can really be found everywhere and everything. And she reminds us that love isn't just in the obvious places, that in fact, it can be in the challenges and in the quiet moments and in the places that we least expect. Our guest is a holistic registered nurse, an intuitive guide, and the founder of Soul Gratitude, which is her platform helping people tap into their inner wisdom and deeper states of loving presence. Her inspiration comes from finding magic and bliss and depth in life, merging into awareness of oneness. Being in this presence during energetic healing and the teaching and meditation classes that she runs is key to her work in life. Our guest shares nearly 30 years of spiritual and physical healing knowledge and the practice to help connect people to their own inner wisdom by reconnecting with their strengths, their intuition, and the love and being in that oneness. People can truly, really flourish and expand in that presence. So, welcome everyone, Nicole Love. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
How are you, Nicole?
Well, I'm a little nervous on the live stream, yeah, but I'm feeling really good. I'm so grateful to be here with you.
Yeah, well, it's amazing to have you. And I have to say, I wrote you a short email before we connected today, just giving you the lay of the land. And I shared how in a meditation earlier this morning, I had this beautiful gray and dark wolf, like it was so beautiful, howling. And a couple minutes before I tuned into the show, this big, beautiful dark wolf. I mean, it was so beautiful and it had this golden moon in the background as I'm just getting into the energetic flow of tuning into your energy came forward and it was so beautiful and I felt elementals and fairy energy and I just want to share that the energy that you bring with you, your guides, your team, it's an honor to have their presence with us, and it's obvious that you do something magical. So let's start with sharing a little bit more. If you'd like, you can comment on what I just shared and then head into what do you do and how did your life design lead you to here now? So wherever you want to begin with those few questions.
Okay. Well, thank you for welcoming my guides here also. And the wolves are new to me. The past few years, I've been diving deep into shamanic breath work and
Mm,
created it. Star Wolf has a deep lineage with the wolves, and I came to her through grandmother Twyla. And the wolf people come from the star Sirius, and
mm,
they have just started pouring through me, and it's really beautiful to have them pour through me and like merge with my cells. And so, thank you for, I guess, tuning into that and feeling that. And part of the medicine of the wolf is to be a leader in teaching new ideas and spreading wisdom and teaching people how to be their own unique self, that the
mm.
individuals, each of us, to me, as my belief, has our own unique frequency of love. And it's important for each of us to like really bring that in for ourselves and for the earth and for humanity and for everything. This is what I love to do for myself and then hold space for with clients because I feel like
Mm,
our own frequency of love is our biggest teacher, our biggest healer, all of that for ourselves. And then we bring that gift in for everyone else.
beautiful. I love that. So, really teaching other people how to bring forward their own frequency of love, their own uniqueness, their own signature into life.
Mhm.
That's so beautiful. And I would love to know, what brought you here with such a wealth of wisdom and knowledge and such an open heart to welcoming in, so many different dynamics of spirituality. How did you get here?
Well, and it's I guess from the very beginning, it's been this huge spiritual journey. I think we all have that. It's just about tuning into it. When I was young, I was able to see energy and connect with what I thought were angels and that type
Mm,
of thing. And it was extremely sensitive. Like I was crying all the time, pretty much.
yeah.
And then
Same.
And then in my 20s, when I was 22, I decided to just really focus on a spiritual path. When I was 21, I went into a depression and just did
Mm,
not understand what life was about at all. And what I was doing was just surface level, and it just didn't feel like this was what life was. And I was actually in a Native American art class, and he was speaking into how his family could see energy, and he was feeling that that is where all the art came, was from everyone seeing the energy and then creating art about the energy. So I went up to him after class and I started talking to him about when I was young, how I could see energy and how I don't anymore. And he
mm,
said that there's a school nearby that teaches meditation and healing. And I signed up the next week for it. And that was called the Berkeley Psychic Institute. And
mm.
learned from them for a few years. And they taught me a lot of really great tools as far as opening up my clairvoyance. They had a clairvoyant program so that I could
Mm.
see energy and then a healing, like you could start to feel the energy with your hands, and then learning about spirit guides and grounding and your chakras and all of that. So a lot of really basic knowledge as far as opening up to spirituality and energetics. Um,
Yeah.
and they really focused on being in your third eye and having a sense of humor about everything so that the energy could move and shift. And for myself, I needed to be in a more heart-centered place because that's
Mm.
that's where I think my strength is and where I want to be more. And so I didn't resonate with them to stay with them for that long, but I'm really grateful for all of the tools that they still offer for people.
Mm.
And then from there, I learned I love any healing modality, and so I just please show me anything because anything that connects to spirit, I love. I,
Wow.
yeah, and then for myself, the different traumas that I've been through in life, I've learned healing modalities to work on myself for that, and then so that's what I want to offer because I do feel like when we work on ourselves and then we heal ourselves or we come into wholeness in that area, then we're able to hold a bigger space for others. And so I think it's important for everyone who does want to do this sort of work with assisting others is that they really assist themselves first.
Mm. Really beautiful. I love that. And, I'm going to open this next question up and we'll have about 4 minutes to kind of dive in. And certainly after the next segment, we can continue forward with just answering this because it may be one that's kind of dynamic and we'll unpack it. But, you emphasize being in this presence of oneness during your energetic healings and your teaching and your meditation classes. And I love that because from personal experience, having been connected to you, I really felt that from you, just this omnipresence of love and holding that space. So Could you share with us what does the presence of oneness mean to you, and how does this presence enhance the work you do with others?
Okay. So I believe that we all come from source, that we are all God, basically. And then that
Mm,
fractal, like that broken off fractal, that unique frequency of God, of love, is us. And so,
wow.
yeah, and then for me, I basically create a portal of connecting into love just by going into any center point. And
Mm,
then that takes me into the oneness. And so,
beautiful.
yeah, in the mornings, my meditation is to connect with the heart. I call it the heart womb of the earth, and it's her center point.
Mm-hmm.
And since she's evolving so quickly, it's really important for me to connect with her every day. Otherwise, I revert to that kind of childhood state. And I get
Mm-hmm.
really emotional and crying all the time. So when I'm connected with her and in this heart womb space, I am
Mm-hmm.
sourced with her nourishing support. And it's that infinite place of oneness. So it's at her heart womb, but it's at her center point, which then is connected to the infinite source of love, truth,
Mm.
bliss. Yeah.
And so when you open that space up for when you do this energetic healing or, these readings on people, how does that influence the way that they receive your work? And so we'll open that up and then I may interrupt you and we'll move on to a break, a commercial.
Okay. So when I have that dialed in myself, I become somewhat of a portal myself. And
Mm,
my energy can influence how others open up and receive their unique frequency of love or
mm,
their higher selves, their guidance. And then it
ooh.
also points out to me where there might be wounds or traumas that block that frequency from coming in.
So it basically allows for you to kind of see them purely as they are, no judgment to the trauma or the parts of them that are, you know, coming into wholeness. And it allows you then to navigate them and say, okay, let's address this part right here. Let's kind of go diving deep into this. So let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll go farther into this and unpack this some more. And I'm excited. So we'll see how it all goes. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Are you a conscious co creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Welcome back to Nourish the Soul Talk radio show and podcast, your place to awaken to the sacred wisdom of your body. Because did you know your body has been designed on a soul level to help you remember who you truly are? Well, I'm excited. This is Elizabeth Tripp. We're talking to Nicole Love, and we're exploring how to find love in every moment and embracing soul gratitude. Thank you, Nicole, for being here. Just make sure your mic is on check so we can hear your beautiful voice. So, we were talking about in our last segment how you go into the center point of anything and you can actually connect to a divine source of love. And when you connect to that, you're able to then really yourself flow that love and tap into it and find your own frequency of love. But also, when you do that with others, you're holding that space for themselves to explore that and for you to hold that space to really work on some of these traumas you were speaking of. So feel free to enlighten us more with that in terms of maybe even an example of the kind of work that you do. We'd love to hear a little bit more about it.
Okay. Thank you again for having me and talking about this. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I first wanted to say that when we connect into love or that oneness place, then we become a frequency for others to match that place of one, and
Okay.
so when we get into that space, if I'm holding space or creating space for someone, I need to be there to be able to bring that field in or that portal in.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, to me, the sacred space setting.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's more to it too. I love calling in the directions and the elements and the guides and all of that too, to have a huge, massive support during healing sessions. But when I'm working with someone, I'm connecting with a multidimensional being, right? Like you were saying, that our bodies are made of our souls. And so our bodies are pure energy. And so looking at all the ley lines of the body, looking at different layers of the soul, because our souls are just so massive. And then what our bodies are connected with ancestor healing and other lifetimes. There's just so many layers to connect into. And so I'll basically just hold space for whatever's going to show up. A lot of times I'll kind of start with the first chakra unless I get called somewhere else. Because for me, the first chakra and that connection with that heart womb space of the earth is really important for us humans. For our bodies to feel safe, loved, held, and supported. And many of us have a mother wound where we weren't, nurtured in the ways we need to be nurtured. And that heart womb space of the earth then allows us that space so that we feel safe to drop in our bodies, because when we don't feel safe, a lot of times we'll shoot out of our bodies and just kind of be on, like a program or a robotic place of being. But when we feel safe, then we can deepen into ourselves. We can soften and receive more of our love, more of our presence.
Beautiful. So what I hear from you is that, really coming into that base chakra, that first chakra, and holding that loving presence there and allowing that person to feel it can really bring them a sense of safety within themselves. What sounds like is like the first sort of step to allowing ourselves to really be integrated within the physical body, the sacred temple itself, without trying to climb out or feeling as though we can't be here now. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes, that's how I feel it for myself, and then how I see it in others. But I could be seeing in others because that's how I feel it in myself.
Well, I can say from personal experience, that's how I feel it too. So I think we're onto something for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so also when we get to deeper and deeper places of being held by that heart womb space of the earth, because I also feel that that's an infinite place that we can continue to go deeper and deeper into her love, to her center. That different wounds come up for healing.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that love sometimes shows us where our pain is, because that
Mm.
pain starts to be like, you are not coming in here. You are not going to tap into this. I do not want to feel this. And so that's
Mm.
what we need to breathe, soften, and allow it to kind of beep, beep, a little bit open for love to come in, and then breathe, soften, and allow it to beep, beep,
Mm-hmm.
open and allow more to come in. Um, this is where the friction happens, where some people might want to run because they're starting to feel that wound of trauma that they hid for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But that infinite source of love feels so good and so sweet that it is supporting us in opening up these traumas. And then once
Mm.
we feel the love in these traumas can be integrated and then become these huge gems of wisdom.
Wow. So through that process, when that love gets invited in there, and there may be some of that resistance, but as we breathe and soften and we start to relax more, it's coming sort of closer to the trauma. And do you find that this trauma then speaks? Because this is occurring within the body, right? Does it have a message that it says, or some sort of insight or visual that you get, particularly personally for you? How does it all work?
Yeah, when I'm holding space, or even for myself, it's usually a visual.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm working with others, sometimes I'll see it in a physical, like that trauma response. There's a shaking that happens in the body,
Mm.
and the nervous
Mm-hmm.
system releases it on a physical level like that.
Mm.
Or tears, or there's been screaming, whatever is welcome for that trauma to release. Our bodies are so beautiful. They're record keepers. They hold on to everything. And from so long ago, long before we were in existence. And so our bodies hold deep, deep wisdom for us. And so the
Mm.
deeper we can go inside of our bodies, the more wisdom we have that's accessible in any moment. Wisdom from ancient times
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
held in
That's
our DNA. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's really powerful. So, when you speak of this, when people often come to you, and I don't know if you're seeing this more of recent because of all the shifts in our consciousness, but do you see more people facing more past lives, they call it, than even present day traumas? Like they've kind of cleared up the present day childhood stuff and need to go deeper into those other ancient lifetimes and things like that. What are you seeing?
It just totally depends on who's showing up and where they're at and what's going
Mm-hmm.
on with them. It does seem like usually when people have worked on like this lifetime stuff more, then they can go deeper into other lifetimes and deeper into the ancestral healing.
Yeah, but no one more important than the other because they're all gateways, right, to
Exactly.
that love. Wow,
Yeah.
that's really beautiful. And I love that because I've been asking everybody on the show, do you believe the mind and body and soul are, distinct from one another, or do you see them as a unified whole? And I think you really answered that question. In a sense that you see them as they interplay and as one operating together in a physical form. Yeah. And you seem to be able to have a connection to them in different dimensional ways as well. So I think that's super neat.
Yeah, it's all, I think, how we focus on things. I think I do
Mm-hmm.
believe that everything is one and we are in this grand illusion of separateness. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the more we can kind of clear the veil, and I believe that coming into that place of love helps that veil clear a bit, and we can see each other more as, oh, that's a really beautiful person, rather than, oh, that person might hurt me, you know,
Yeah.
that, and
That
then so,
Go ahead. Yeah, because I was just going to say, I mean, that's so potent for right now because we're here in the United States really in this kind of charged political climate and everything's so opinionated. And your statement just right there is like, oh, wow. So people can have an opinion about something, but doesn't necessarily have to affect me or hurt me if I'm looking at them through the eyes of love.
Mhm. Yeah. And politics are really tough. They're really tough because they bring up all that root chakra survival stuff. Yeah.
So true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's really, really true.
Yeah. So what I was going to say about that too was the oneness within our body, that body, mind, spirit. And it's like a mandala that we're made up of so many layers. And so if we want to focus on the mind, then we just set that intention to focus on the mind, or focus on the heart, the energetic heart, and then leading into the physical heart. Then that's how we focus. And so just like we could focus on love, or we can focus on fear. It's whatever we focus on. It's easy to go into it deeply.
Wow. Well, that's a definite truth bomb, just by what we focus on, it becomes our reality.
Mhm.
So I think that's really powerful, and really powerful advice for even our own, inner work that we do for ourselves. So we're heading into another break shortly here, but I wanted to ask you, I know that you work with the womb, and you have such a powerful connection with that. And I know your connection to Gaia's earth womb is also, interwoven into that. But I'm going to open this up, and we can certainly explore this into the next segment too. But I know that the womb serves as a portal for, a deeper spiritual awareness and a divine awareness within us. So could you talk a little bit about how clearing past traumas in that space enhances our connection to this like love and wisdom and joy that we can find if our womb is really, fully in its, health and well-being?
Yes, and I have to apologize about my barking dog. I don't know if you
It's okay.
okay.
So,
So,
so we'll get started really for about a minute, and then I'm going to break you, but go for it. Yeah.
okay, with the womb healing, definitely the clearer we are, the more access we have to that, again, like infinite source of love, that portal straight to spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And having a womb inside of our body, a portal that brings spirit into form, is so incredibly
Mm.
powerful. And
Mm.
also, it works as a purifier for a really long time with the moon cycles, with bleeding every month. It is a huge gift to be a woman. I really love it and honor my womb every day.
Beautiful. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive back in to just that. Thank you.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Were you an essential worker during the pandemic? If you needed to learn stages of epilepsy, did you depend on advocates? Did you use new innovations to cope with mental and neurological issues? Maintaining high quality of life and keeping good mental health are what we all strive for. I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each week top healthcare influencers, professionals, and innovators answer these questions and more. Stay tuned on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will continue to be frank about health with all of you.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Welcome back. I'm Elizabeth Tripp, the host of Nourish the Soul Talk radio show and podcast. Tonight, we're talking to Nicole Love, and we're diving into this really beautiful question. Nicole, before we took our last commercial, I was, sharing with you, I wanted to hear your insight on this, our womb and the connection to the womb. And when we clear these past traumas, how more joy and wisdom and just, a sense of connection to ourselves emerges. You seem like an expert on this, and I really want to hear what you have to say. So tell us your perspective of the womb and traumas and how to reconnect to our deeper joy and love.
Yes. So our wombs, I feel, have been, gosh, the power has been taken away and they've been sullied, for so long. And it's a reclamation time of power of our wombs and the healing of our wombs. Of course, they're powerful. They, bring life into form, into being. And that's such a gift in itself. And then more than that, they bring whatever we want to manifest. If we connect into our womb space, we can bring whatever we want, spirit, into form. And then also our wombs, they are in a place in our bodies where they're tucked way down there, and we can shove a lot of emotions way down there. So they tend to hold on to big emotions for us. And it's also an energetic place in our body where we empathize with a lot of people. We're really energetically sensitive to other people in this womb space. And so we tend to hold on to other people's energy here. And so this space can get really murky really quickly. And so it's important for us to shine some light within our wombs, within this dark, like mysterious place. It is a mysterious place. It's connected to the great mystery. And it's also a place of big medicine. So the more we can connect with it, the more we have access to the mystery and to our own medicine.
Wow. I mean, my first sort of inclination to that, because it was just so beautiful, is to ask you, do you have a really quick, tool or tip to help the listeners on the show kind of begin that process or, start that in a very like simple way that you could show them or explain?
Yes. Well, I do have meditations that I could send you and you could, put it on a link or whatever to connect with the ovaries and the uterus and that heart womb space of the earth to learn how to energetically connect that way. And then I also feel I've learned how to do internal work, pelvic floor work, to heal trauma in women's bodies. And so I also have trained as a midwife, and I have no problems with, having like my finger inside of my yoni or any of that, and working within other women inside their yonis for releasing trauma. But I would like to like destigmatize having your finger inside your yoni so that you can connect with yourself there. And so this is a morning practice of connecting with my yoni, connecting with my womb, bringing that heart womb space of the earth and that kundalini life force energy of the earth, of my own being, into my womb space. And really accessing that whole pelvic bowl and shining it up as a medicine bowl to then nurture the rest of my body.
Wow, that is so beautiful. And I think it speaks to, and you share with me today, you think women struggle with feeling afraid to really more deeply connect with themselves or like express themselves as that connection develops, or both or either? What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, I feel that within at least our society here, and a lot of societies, cultures around the world, has been vilified to be connected to your sensuality or to your womb, you know? And
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
not even like a sensual way, even though it is like, why not be sensual? Why not feel pleasure? Like, why is that a bad thing, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think a lot of women struggle with that. So yeah, keep going. Mm-hmm.
This like feeling loved, valued, nurtured, blissful, joyful, pleasurable in our bodies is not prioritized. What's prioritized is to go, 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 do, be productive, and bring home the bacon type thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For us to slow
Yeah.
down and connect within our own vibration, our own unique frequency of love within our own womb, our own mystery, our own medicine.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the deep magic, the deep healing is for ourselves.
Wow, beautiful. And because women struggle with that, and as they start this journey, they may come to you for, your assistance, your guidance. What are some of the dis-ease states that you see that are happening within their physical bodies, within that area that they most frequently come or complain of, or are occurring for them, that are their biggest issues that are related to the emotional traumas that are stored there, so that people can kind of make a correlation here of what's really going on.
Yeah, it's basically a disconnection, is what it is. So, like we were talking about how people sometimes just are like above their heads, almost walking around, they're operating
Mm-hmm.
almost robotic state. That's it. And so you're lacking joy, you're usually more anxious, or
Mm-hmm.
can get depressed more easily. Also, maybe you don't maybe you're numb to feeling
Mm.
loved or appreciated, valued in your world, and also numb to wanting even physical touch,
Mm.
intimacy in any way. Um,
Mm.
this is like for us to be intimate with ourselves, to be more embodied. We can start to soften and release that anxiety, release and melt the barriers. Those barriers are probably there to keep you safe, from traumas. But we first need to connect in with ourselves, feel it to heal it, is a big saying, which I love. And
Mm-hmm.
can come in and feel the things, and with support from like what I get is that infinite source of love that supports me to transmute, transform the trauma, and then turn it in again into that gem of wisdom. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, that happened, that was really hard, and oh, I see how that happened for that person too, and I see how I'm a sister with this person, now,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
can connect in a deeper way and then understand each other in a deeper way.
Mm-hmm. And I love that. And to kind of continue, for example, because I know there's so much disease happening, but when, a woman, or we see women with higher rates of like endometriosis or PCOS, or fibroids, do you believe that's all connected to this disconnect and this emotional trauma that's not being processed, and that's not being held in this loving awareness that you're holding and helping others to connect to?
Yeah, I think that's a big piece. And again, everything is so multidimensional that I can't say that that's just it. Sometimes we bring in things from other lifetimes, or we are carrying things for our ancestors. We could be
Mm.
so dialed in, eating so healthy, taking care of ourselves in every way, and then still bring something through to heal.
Interesting. Yeah, I really love that. That's a really unique and in-depth perspective to look at it even farther from than just this life, but the lineage of our ancestors and lifetimes that have coexisted in the past, right? Per se, that are a part of what shape us today and what make us who we are. I really like that. So I wanted to ask, because this kept coming to me, it came yesterday, interestingly, while I was taking a shower. I was like, wow, your guides and your beings that walk with you were like kind of pointing me into some interesting directions. So what does being vulnerable mean to you? Because you just used the word intimacy there, and you stressed and you really kind of highlighted that it's so important to learn how to become intimate with ourselves. So what does being vulnerable mean to you? And how does vulnerability interplay with us reconnecting to our higher self, to this, divine source love, or, this awareness of oneness?
I love that. Vulnerability is a beautiful thing to me. It's being authentically you, and it's being curious. It's being open into what could be next. I don't know, but let's check it out. Being vulnerable helps us surrender into love, helps us surrender
Mm,
and open into all the greater gifts.
powerful, really beautiful. And so through that vulnerability, when we allow ourselves to open and surrender, do you feel that in the work that you do, that then brings in that higher source energy of ourselves and allows for that reemergence or alignment?
Yeah, I feel that is true. Yeah, when people open themselves up, that's being vulnerable, right? Opening themselves up, surrendering to whatever is coming through, being completely authentic with themselves. That's where like huge healing happens. The big
So
release transformations. Yeah.
so would we say the prescription is like, if you feel sad, if you feel angry, if you feel, anxious, to sit with it and get to know it versus do what maybe we have been programmed or taught to do in life?
Yes, 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 yes. And I'm so guilty of, watching Netflix, when I don't want to feel something. That's for sure.
Yes. Or like scrolling on our phones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there is a time and place, maybe you need to set a sanctuary space for yourself. Maybe it's taking a bath or whatever it is, but definitely taking time for you. And
Mm.
forgive yourself for having those moments of, I need to watch something right now. I can't check in right now.
Yeah, because we can't be perfect spiritual human beings, right? There's really no such thing. And I love the way you say that, because it kind of gives us permission to be all of ourselves without judging any aspect of that. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's really beautiful. So we're going to dive into something else when we get back from our commercial break, but I absolutely love what we're talking about. This is amazing. Thank you so much. So we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back. Okay.
Are you a high achieving, growth oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Welcome back. My name is Elizabeth Tripp. I'm the host of Nourish the Soul talk radio show and podcast, and we're exploring with the wise and beautiful Nicole Love on finding love in every moment, really embracing soul gratitude. So, Nicole, welcome back. This is our last segment of the show. Can you believe it? It's flying. I can't believe it. It's just an amazing show, though. Thank you. So, I wanted to ask you, we kind of moved in a little bit of a direction of vulnerability, and we were talking about the womb, and we're going to come back to the body a little bit. But I just wanted to hear from you because you carry such wisdom on this. Can you explain the role of the womb in connecting us to the earth and then also connecting us to universal energies? Because I know there's a lot of curiosity on cosmic energies, but what would also be the benefit of connecting to Gaia, Mother Earth? So could you share more on that with us?
Okay, well, part of my womb healing has been to connect womb to womb. How I describe her heart womb is like I connect my heart with her heart and my womb with her womb, and they're at the same place, basically. Like being inside her womb and being inside her heart. But my imagining like my pelvic bowl, my medicine bowl, held within inside her medicine bowl, and that they become one. So that's a meditation or an energetic piece. And then offering moon blood to my plants, that feels really deeply healing. Like a cycle of life is happening. Like,
Wow.
oh, my blood is offered to the earth. The earth is sustaining me, and I am helping sustain a part of the earth. So that's a physical part. I also believe that when we connect energetically with the earth, like bring in our own unique frequency of love, that is sustaining her too. As she nourishes us with her energy, we're nourishing her with our energy too.
Wow, that's beautiful. I mean, just what you're doing, that practice is just absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And in terms of cosmic energies, because I know there's so many curious people to go up and out, what is our benefit of, using the womb to do that? Does that need to be a place that kind of healed in order for that to safely happen as we go cosmically up and out and explore that realm? Or can it be something we use it to just go up and out and figure it out and see what's up there?
Yeah, I like that question. Like, is it safe to go if you haven't done any healing work with your womb? And I think that it would be good to set the space if you're going to go on a journey through your womb, to create that sacred space, again, calling in your guides, all of that. And then ask for healing as you go through, if that's what you're looking for. And if you're looking for certain messages as you go through your womb portal, ask for ease and grace, bliss, all of those things. Because I think another thing is we're programmed, a lot of us, into pain. And so releasing that program, we can like take a key, turn off that program, take another key and turn on a program for ease, grace, bliss.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we could take a journey really easily through the womb space, to the cosmos. Yeah.
Wow.
The absolute, where everything comes from.
That's amazing. And I love that. And I think it's really key because I think really feeling integrated in our physical human bodies is so important for us to really even feel like we can connect to those cosmic energies. And then, right, to really focus on the positive and the blissfulness of it versus the negative. Right? Like you're speaking of, we're really trained to look for the negative versus open up for the positive. Yeah.
I love finding all of the things wrong.
Yes, it's easy.
I'm such a fixer.
Yeah.
But we can just look for, what are the gifts that I can receive right now?
Yeah.
But also, as far as like taking off into the cosmos, for me, what's the point if I can't bring it back into my body, into the here and now? And real like embodiment focused person. And
Yes.
yeah, that's why I want to be able to bring that love, bliss, joy energy into my body more. That's the
Yes.
goal for me of being embodied. And bringing that in sometimes means going into all those wound places so that I can release that to bring in more of that love, bliss energy.
Yeah, because that sense of safety is back, then that sense of pleasure for life is there, then the joy reemerges, and then you're more integrated as a human being and feel more sort of centered to be able to navigate then the other layers of who we really are. Would you say that's true in what I'm hearing from you?
I would say that's spot on. Yes.
Yeah, well, and I know you've guided me through different things myself because I'm such a cosmic up and out type of gal. So I can totally relate to people who do that. But what I found most out of, our connection is that integrative, more grounded sense of being here in my body in that space that has really helped me.
Mhm.
So I wanted to ask you, and I think you really answered this, how our human bodies reconnect to deeper states of loving presence. What I'm hearing is that essentially within our own system are these portals or gateways, or as we call them, chakras, that allow us to really find that within ourselves. Is that how you would describe it, or do you have a different way of putting it? How our human bodies connect to deeper states of loving awareness or loving presence?
Yeah, I love the map of our chakras and that every joint is a chakra. And I like to see
Mm,
like our body is a sacred geometry with the joints as these spheres of light and our bones these rods of light. And so
wow.
you can look at every body system as sacred geometry and each cell as sacred geometry and our DNA as sacred geometry. So everything you could go into is magic, biomagic. Our bodies are magical. They are
Yeah.
incredibly sacred. It's like we are so blessed to have these bodies. And
Oh, I
so,
love that.
yeah,
Hmm.
as I get older, I'm feeling more and more blessed by my body.
Wow, I absolutely love that. And I just keep this image of like a cell like dancing and like a double helix and it just being
Yes,
like, woo.
exactly.
Um, I want to ask you because we're coming nearing to the end. What does soul gratitude mean to you? Because I know it's the name of your platform, and I just thought it was a beautiful expression. So, what does that really more deeply mean to you? Why is it something that you use to describe your work and the platform you hold?
It's for me, like finding more of that joy, love, bliss is also finding gratitude in everything, right? And so
Mm,
in this work, it's soul work. And so I'm giving gratitude from my soul to all things. It's the biggest, it's such a teacher for me.
mm,
Pretty much everything I do is teaching me. Everything I
wow.
offer is teaching me.
Way to look at way to look at life through the heart. I mean, you just speak so eloquently and centered from your heart when you share that message that everything is teaching you, and it's so authentic, and I feel that. So thank you for sharing that. And I want to ask you, because I've been exploring this with everybody on my show, what do you really believe the true meaning or purpose of life is? Share us. Share with us.
Gosh. Well, I think it's different for everyone. And so mine, and it changes all the time, depending on what phase I'm in. The true purpose for me right now is to deepen into love.
Mm,
And it's been that for about 10 years.
hmm.
And the next
Wow.
phase is my mentor, Star Wolf, her mentor, grandmother Twyla, was saying that truth is actually more important than love. Without truth, there is no love. And so that's been
Mm,
really thinking about for the past year and feeling into that. So deepening into truth and noticing when there's lack of truth. Is there
hmm.
lack of love when there's no truth? and just
Wow.
animate that. Yeah.
That is beautiful. So share with us briefly for a moment here, how can people connect to you? Where can they find you? Your website, we'll post that all up there on this platform, but tell us where we can find you and maybe some fun things that we can key you in.
Okay. Well, Soul Gratitude is my website, and then soul underscore gratitude for Instagram, and then Nicole Love on Facebook, because my soul gratitude, I don't really do anything on there much. And things coming up, I'm not really sure. I have things around locally doing the shamanic breath work and biomagic dancing. As far as anything that I'm offering, I do online treatments and online breath works. But I don't know about what I'm going to be doing out in the world.
Perfect. Well, people will love to connect to you that way. And I would love to come in person and do some of this dancing. But until then, my beautiful soul sister, we're going to sign off. It was amazing to have you. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody who tuned in. Feel free to share this. Until next time, namaste.
Namaste.
You're listening